swap. Hello, welcome back to another hand cam stream. Hand cam. Give me a second while I do a quick audio test. Another hand cam stream. Okay, managed to catch my mispronunciation. Awesome, love that. Welcome back. Hello. It's been a hot minute since we've done a webcam thing. My layouts are a little weird, so please forgive as I attempt to figure this out. There we go. Anyways, welcome. We're doing this again. If you don't remember, which I wouldn't be surprised, because this specific thing happened like a year ago, where we went through my small collection of commander decks, of my EDH decks, and usually, like I promised a year ago, they don't get updated very often. So it takes about a year for the deck to make noticeable differences, noticeable changes. This year though, I've kind of let's see, because I have 4 commander decks, and they're all at the point where they really don't get a lot of changes. The only one that did get a change is my Eldrazi one, and it's like a pretty meh. I mean, it's a big change for the deck, but the reason why it changed is not like a big deal. But other than that, everything else has been like minor upgrades. This deck and the Space Godzilla deck both got card draw and ramp, I think it's card draw and lands that these 2 decks got upgraded with. So these are the biggest changes, I believe. But yeah, either way, let's talk about this. So as before, we're going to talk about like the stuff I have. So as you can tell, this is a OBG onboard games. This is a collaboration with onboard games. I'm trying to see if they even have their company name on here. I had their company name last time when I was looking at this, but this time I have forgotten the name of the guy who did the wood carving for this specific box. And like I was saying before, the reason why I have this is because the LGS I got this from had a I guess collaboration. They were the first ones to get the pre-orders. Essentially, they were the first ones to get their shipment of their first batches, and it looks pretty good. My brother has like one of the first ones, which is a lot more pale. Like you can definitely see in the pine. This one at least is stained. Some of the details in here are probably a lot thinner than what the finished product would look like. Like there's probably a lot more smaller cuts, smaller details. And the only reason why I mentioned that is because something they did mention was that because there are such fine details that they are more likely to break, because they're obviously the wood is way thinner, so it's more fragile to have that detail there. So I don't know if the finished ones look any different. All I do know is that, you know, there's a very high chance that stuff like this will break over time. This is not a deck that leaves the house, so or at least it doesn't leave the house with this box. So that's one reason why it's still all put together. The minute you throw this into a backpack, it's over, it's done. You've ruined it. And then a couple of things, a couple of the accessories that I keep on hand. I keep a life counter, just a paper life counter, that they shipped with a, what was it? It was one of the secret layer decks. I believe it was the flip one where they have the double face cards. That was like the theme of the deck. But no, the reason why I got it is because literally, like, look at this. This is like, you got some of the coolest cards and their art in this set. And of course there is also this metal token. I also got this metal token from a what was it called? What are they called? Some kind of like not gift promotion. It was a side product where they sold like dice and metal tokens, and it was like in a little tin box. It was really cool. So that's where these 2 came from. This came from a secret layer. This came from like some kind of third-party token bag, tin box thing. And then, of course, put that away. Oh, there's the logo of the company that actually made the thing, if you're interested. And of course, the main reason why we're all here, literally because of this guy. If you couldn't tell, Oh man, it's gonna be hard to show them off. There we go. It is Bellicor, the Dark Master. I don't remember if a year ago I had the Surge foil, but I have it now, so pretty nice. I was able to get it like about 10 bucks, and then the price all of a sudden jumped to like 20 bucks. So cool. I'm glad I got it. Yeah, I don't have the rest of the deck as Surge foil. The other cards have stayed base rarity for the Warhammer stuff. I would like to maybe in the future upgrade some of the Warhammer cards to Surge foil since they're not too expensive. But we'll see about that. I'm not holding my breath. We'll say that much. But anyways, we're gonna get started. We'll go ahead and pull the deck out. And in case you were wondering, sleeves, Dragon Shield. They have inners. I forgot what they are. I think they are the I don't remember what the inner sleeves are. I know they're the Japanese thin inner sleeves. And then obviously this is the Gamegenic hard sleeve that I have this in, where you can just kind of slide it open and close. Let's see how easy it is, because it feels like it wants to open, but when I actually push on it, yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, it opens. Yeah, these are a bit of a hit or miss. Sometimes you get the really good ones that, you know, stay closed, and then occasionally you'll get ones that just like, for the life of you, you can do this and open and close it. You know, you can just pinch it. You can pinch it open and closed. So, you know, it's a hit or miss. I like them still. They're still relatively like thin and, you know, pretty close to the actual card size, so they don't take up a ton of space in the box, which is nice. But anyways, let's go ahead and read the deck, or read the commander. I was about to say leader, but it's not One Piece. So I have the Architect up on the side here, so I can actually read the cards as I'm holding it up to the camera. Because like if I try reading it like this, I will not be able to. So this is Bellicor the Dark Master. It's a it's Grixis. It's 6 mana, so it's Grixis plus 3 generic, and then it's a Demon Noble flying. Prince of Chaos. When Bellicor the Dark Master enters the battlefield, you may draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of demons you control. It can be kind of tough, considering that, you know, around the 6 mana cost, you have a lot of demons as well. So he tends to fight for space at the 6 drop. And then he has a Lord of Torment. Whenever another demon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So that's the big one. That is the, what is it, Warstorm Surge effect that makes running a Demon Tribal deck worth it. If you are interested, actually, since I have the Architect pulled up, let's look at the curve. It's not looking pretty, but it's not as bad as I thought. So the average mana value is 3.26, a little high. Usually you want to aim for about 2. So we're running on the chunkier end. We have a ton of 3 drops, that's why it's at a 3.2. But thankfully, like 6 drops, we only have like 7 6 drops, which is not good, because you want your commander maybe like 2 win cons to be around 6 drop, but it's a demon deck, so you're gonna have a lot of big bodies, and you know, it's just the nature of the game, especially with the way I built the deck. If you don't remember, the way I built this deck was trying to keep it as close to the Warhammer precons as I could. That means having as many of the cards that are relevant to this commander in the precon, and as best as I can build it, because obviously I can make it 100% Warhammer themed, but then you won't have cards like this, you know, the Showstopper, and you won't have other good removal spells. So within reason, I kept it on theme to the precon, to the set rules. But the cards, obviously, you know, you don't have 100 cards worth of good demon deck or good demon cards in the set. So I had to supplement it with some more powerful cards, and you'll begin to understand it as we go through the deck, and you start to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's like, yeah, I can see the vision, but we might have strayed a little bit. Also, if you were interested, let's see, what was Architect recommended? So Architect recommends that this is a bracket 3. I can see why it could be considered a bracket 3, because we're kind of playing with a lot of precon cards. We're playing a lot with the big mana demons, but there are a good chunk of game changers in here, and I think like 1 or 2 tutors. 1 tutor for sure that I know I've added in. but I would say this is probably, I think, I want to say it's a 4, but it's not. I think 3 is a generous number, but I think it makes sense because this deck kind of doesn't do much because of everything costing so much mana. You kind of just sit there twiddling your thumbs until all of a sudden you flood the board with some crazy demons, and then you start winning. But anyways, let's actually look at what's in here. What are we going to start with? We're starting with the board wipes. So board wipes. First guy's on the chopping block here. We'll move this. Oh yeah, also, hopefully you like the new playmat. Well, not new playmat. This is my normal playmat. This is normally what I take to LGS is when I do go. And it's just the Magic the Gathering Plains Dogland. The original Plains land that they had for dogs and stuff. It was in the Jumpstart, I believe. And was it Jumpstart? I believe it was Jumpstart. But yeah, really liked it. I thought it looked good. And then they kind of reprinted it, so I just bought it. So I was really happy. Anyways, board wipes. We have Rakdos the Showstopper. Rakdos, my goodness. There's going to be a lot of Rakdos in this deck. There's going to be a lot of this guy hanging around. So, Rakdos. What? Oh boy. Rakdos. Rakdos the Showstopper. 4, 5, 6. It's a 6 mana legendary demon. Flying trample. When Rakdos enters the battlefield, flip a coin for each creature that isn't a demon, devil or imp. Destroy each creature whose coin came up tails. So, there you go. It's a 6/6. Yeah, this is kind of just a demon that can do a decent job at board wiping stuff. So fit the deck, fit the theme. So we were playing with it. Next one is Blasphemous Act. I mean, honestly, I don't even think I can read this one. Let's see. Blasphemous Act deals damage. Hold on, I gotta read it now. Okay, give me a second. A Blasphemous Act that deals 13 damage to each creature. Sorcery. Blasphemous Act. This spell costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. There you go. So, mana efficient board wipe, pretty good. In red, you normally want to be playing one of these. This happens to be the Secret Lair, I believe. I don't see the marking for Secret Lair, but I'm pretty sure this was a Secret Lair. I thought it looked cool, so I got it. And then Toxic Deluge. Toxic Deluge is a 3 mana spell, sorcery. It's a sorcery. As an additional cost to the spell, pay X life. All creatures get -X until the end of turn. So this is your another mana efficient. As you can tell, these two are mana efficient board wipes. This was just we needed a demon in place. So yeah, this gets around like Indestructible, Shroud, that kind of stuff, I believe. Yeah. So that's why it costs like, I think, what is it, like $10? Really good board wipe. Really good efficient board wipe. A little boring, but you know, it gets the job done, so that's why we play it. What's next? It looks like it is removal. Yeah, and then that's protection. Okay, removal. So, Wild Mage, what is this? Surge. Wild Mage Surge is... let me find it. So I can... There you are. So it's a 2 mana spell, 2 mana red. Oh. And it's got a lot of words, so it's going to take us a minute. Instant. Destroy target permanent an opponent controls. Its controller reveals cards from the top of their deck until they reveal the permanent card that shares a creature type or shares a card type with that permanent. They put that card onto the battlefield and rest on the bottom of their order and bottom of their library in the random order. So, yeah. Wild Mage Surge is another version of Chaos Warp. It does hit permanent, so it's not just creatures, but a lot of times it tends to be creatures. Unless you need to hit like Aristic Study or something like that. So good removal. Good removal in red. So nice to have. We have blue in the deck, so we could do better with removal, but you know, this is not bad. I do like it. And then let's see. Shadow Grang Artificer, I believe is how you say that. But don't quote me on that one. So it is a 7 mana demon. But we are probably not going to be paying 7 mana because you can see it has a madness cost of 3 mana and pay 8 life. So this is when this creature enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. You gain life equal to the greatest power amongst creatures sacrificed this way. So asymmetrical removal for all the big stuff. Pretty good. However, a lot of good cards now, or a lot of good creatures, tend to be smaller bodies that have powerful effects. So unless you're going up against like a you know, big green, I'm about to win if you don't get rid of it creature, has like okay effects. At least you're gaining life. Also the madness really helps, which means I believe madness is when you discard a card, or you can discard this and pay its madness cost, which is 3 mana and then pay it life. So I believe that's how madness works. Again, they don't have the rules text in here, so hard to remember. Deadly Rollick, very powerful removal spell. If you control your commander, you may cast this spell without paying its mana cost. Exile target creature. 3 mana. Deadly Rollick, instant. You never pay 3 mana for this spell. Or at least you shouldn't. If you do, that's very unfortunate for you. Our next one. Cyclonic Rift. Now, to be fair, this should be in the board wipe section, but it is removal. Because you can pay the 2 mana, just bounce something out of the way, but you're never really paying 2 mana for this spell. It's like Cyclonic Rift is a 2 mana spell, quote unquote. It's an instance, return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand, and then you can overload it. Overloading means you're just paying the extra 7 mana. So on top of the 2, you're paying an extra 7. I believe so, right? You may cast a spell for its overloaded cost. If you do, change its text by replacing all instances of target with each. Okay, no, so you pay the 7 mana instead of the 2 mana. And then you get to bounce basically everything on the board that isn't yours. Great card. A lot of people don't like that. Chaos Warp. And this is actually a very fun art. Chaos Warp, done by, what's his name, Phil? Yeah. I believe old school Magic artists who did a lot of the more funnier arts for Chaos Warp. Did a lot of funnier art for older Magic cards. So Chaos Warp is a 3 mana instance. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put it onto the battlefield. So another janky bit of removal, but removal nonetheless. It gets rid of any permanent, and then you get to basically replace it. It's a lot less restrictive than Wild Mage Surge, but it is still good. This is still like a classic, a basic, or a staple for red decks. And then we have here is our next one. Yeah, okay, good. Our next one, Swan Song. Swan Song, man, this is a classic. This is all the protection spells that we have right now. And this is from the Lord of the Rings set, I believe. Yeah, because you can see the entrance to the, I guess the city on the shore. I forgot, I don't remember the name of it, but pretty cool. So counterspell, Song Swan is a 1 mana instance. Counter target enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell. Its controller creates a 2/2 bluebird creature token with flying. So, counterspell, you're just going to counter whatever your opponent plays. Like, for instance, if your opponent plays a Cyclonic Rift or a Chaos Warp, you're going to just counterspell it, give them a 2/2 bird. It's not the end of the world. They won't do much with that bird. It would be shocking if they can swing for a game with that bird. It'd be a really bad story. It'd be a funny story, but a very bad way to lose. Anyways, our next card, Fierce Guardship. So, Fierce Guardship, another one of our game changers. Actually, was oh yeah, Cyclonic Rift is the game changer, but not Deadly Rollick, weirdly enough. All right, interesting. So, Fierce Guardship is a 3 mana instance, which you're never going to pay 3 because it has, if you control a commander, you may, if you control, yeah, a commander, so it can be anyone's commander. If you manage to steal someone's commander, you can play this. So you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost. Counter target non-creature spell. Free commander spell. Free counter spell. Awesome. Deflecting Swat. Another non-game changer, which arguably is just as strong as Fierce Guardship. So I don't know why, you know, they're not on the same level. I mean, I think they cost about the same too. Either way, Deflecting Swat is a 3 mana spell, which again, we're never going to pay. Because if you control a commander, you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost. You may choose a new target for target spell or ability. So that what makes it better is that it is target spell or ability versus Fierce Guardship. It's only non-creature spells. This will hit creatures' abilities, and this will. I don't think it will hit like a creature. Like if someone's trying to cast like I'm trying to think of a creature. It just escaped my brain. Like if someone wants to cast Be'lakor, I don't think this would work on Be'lakor, but you can counter his ability to you know, ping someone. So pretty useful. Darkness, everybody. Darkness, really good board protection because it has, for 1 black, instant, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Also a common for no reason. Just commons used to be just built differently. But yeah, no, this is definitely much stronger than a common. And then our next one is Bolt Bend. Bolt Bend is a 4 mana instance. This spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Change the target spell or ability with a single target. So shares a similar text to Deflecting Swat. However, you know, obviously Deflecting Swat is free and has a wider range of things it can hit versus Bolt Bend. Bolt Bend is a little more narrow with its target, and obviously it's at least going to cost you 1 red. But it's nice to have a backup of a counterspell type. So our next ones are going to be our ramp spells. I'm trying to, in the future, reduce my ramp spells. So, well, I say future. The thing is, like, I'm not building new commanders. I was thinking about building Deadpool, since I have the secret layer for Deadpool, but not right now, at least. Not right now. I don't got the extra money to be spending, and I also don't want to build another commander deck, to be brutally honest with you. I would rather maintain the ones I have than build a new one from scratch. But anyways, here's our ramp. Wayfarer's Bauble, a classic, and in the nice Warhammer art. So Wayfarer Bauble, obviously, I feel like a lot of people know what this card does. So we'll just give it a quick introduction. Wayfarer's Bauble is a 1-drop. It's an artifact for 1. You can tap 2, or you can pay 2 and tap it. Sacrifice this, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Old school ramp, still decent ramp. It is getting pushed out of the meta though, for sure. And then we have Urza's Saga. Urza's Incubator, my bad, is a 3-mana artifact. As Urza's Incubator enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. We're choosing Demon. Creature spells of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast. I was gonna say each turn, but no, it's a forever spell until it gets removed. Great for demons, because then all of a sudden this goes from like 6 to 4 mana, which is significant. That's like a turn or 2 early than you normally would be able to play them. So definitely, like, don't underestimate the Urza Incubator. And then we have the talismans. All the talismans are going to do the same thing, but in their respective colors. Our talismans are Indulgence. I'll read them right now. Dominance. There is Dominance right there. And then Creativity. There's Creativity. And I'll just read one and then you can assume the rest. So this is a 2-mana artifact. You can tap it for 1 generic, or you can tap it, add black or red talisman. If Indulgence deals 1 damage to you, then this will do it for Demir, does 1 damage to you, and then this will do it for Izzet and do 1 damage to you. So those are the talismans that I choose to run in this deck. I think they're nice. They look good. And then, of course, the Pinnacle of EDH, Soul Ring. 1-drop artifact that taps for 2. Mana positive, always good. Another game changer that we have in the deck is Jessica's Will. This was a more recent upgrade, and I thought it was warranted because I believe it, like, yeah, it's like pseudo card draw, but it's mostly just a ramp spell. So it is a 3-mana sorcery. Choose one if you control a commander. As you cast a spell, you may choose both. So add red to actually get it up close to the camera. You can see it. Add red for each card in a target opponent's hand. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. So what's great about this is that at bare minimum, you can get 7 mana. You know, the roof is insane, but normally like 5 to 7 mana you can get from this. And then whatever you exile from the top, you can normally play. Herald's Horn. An artifact, 3-mana artifact. As this enters the battlefield, choose your creature type, choosing Demon. Creature spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. So, mana reduction and pseudo card draw. Pretty good. Heraldess Lanesh is a creature. It's a 3-mana creature. It's a demon. It has demon spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Other demons you control have haste. So, biggest MVP of the deck, honestly. Like, if I'm going to tutor for something, it's usually going to be this one. because not only is it a Urza's incubator on a body, it is also a haste enabler. So a mini anger in the deck. So two great cards just stapled onto each other. I love grabbing this, and I never swing with it unless I am desperate and I'm about to lose. Then I'll like either swing with it or use it for blockers. But great to have. Dark Ritual, old school card, another common, 1 mana, instant. Add 3 black mana to your mana pool. Pretty good. Chromatic Lantern, 3 mana artifact. It has lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color, mana fixing, and then it has tap, add 1 mana of any color. So this is for mana fixing. A lot of people have moved away from it, but it's in the Warhammer art, so we're gonna keep it. Arcane Signet, another classic. It's a 2 mana artifact. Tap, add 1 mana of any color to your commander color identity. So whatever colors your commander are, which in this case it's Grixis, you're gonna add one of those colors when you play this out, or whenever you tap it. All right, next one is card draw. Yeah, it looks like card draw, and it is starting off pretty big with Villas, one of our biggest card draws. Also in a sick new art that they came out with not too long ago. I like it. Unfortunately, it's a lot cheaper than the last version I had of him, of Villas. So Villas is a 8-drop, so it's a lot of mana, but you know what? It's definitely worth it because it's a 8 mana flying demon. So you can pay 1 black, pay 2 life. Target creature gets a -1/-1 until end of turn. So baked in removal, and then it also has whenever you lose a life, draw that many cards. So it is a pay 1 black, draw 2 cards, give something a -1. -1/-1. And then as you can tell, there's no restriction. So as long as you have black mana, you can draw cards and remove bodies. So Villas for 8-drop, completely worth it. Vargoth, Bloodsky Sire. This is one of the newer cards I added into the deck. I was very hesitant to put it in, but you know what? The deck needs it, so I'm not gonna shy away from it. So it is a 3 mana demon rogue with Death Touch, and it has Boast. You pay 1 generic, 1 black. Target player searches the library for a card, then shuffles the library and puts it on top of it. So this is like what is it? Imperial Seal, but it's a Imperial Seal on a body. Boast, I believe. Oh man, it's been a while. Boast, I believe, is when the creature is attacking, you can pay the Boast cost to use the effect. So I believe that's what Boast is. Obviously no reminder text, and it doesn't matter because it also has Death Touch, so no one's going to be blocking it. So I believe that's what Boast is. And it lets you search. It's not demon restricted, but it is a demon, and it lets you search out other demons and basically whatever else you want. It is target player, so you could, in theory, target one of your opponents. I've never done that, so yeah, but interesting thing to keep in mind. Another card, newer one from Duskmourn, which I wish they would have done more with Duskmourn, is Vagaboth. Harrow. That's a hard word to say for me. Harrower of Souls. So it's a 4 mana demon, and we're gonna swiftly move past its other name. So it's Vagaboth is a flying ward, pay 2 life. Pretty good. You know, ward is a little, it's like a hit and miss with ward. So it's nice that this one is like not too bad backbreaking, but it is something. And it has whenever an opponent loses life for the first time during each of their turns, put a 1/1 counter on Vagaboth and draw a card. So card draw, and you know, puts a counter on itself, so it does get bigger. So very mana efficient. So by the time you throw down Be'lakor, you're going to be hitting your opponent for a lot more damage than they anticipated. And then the next one is Tallyman of Nurgle. And see it? Yeah, there you go. It's a 3 mana, Astartes Warrior, lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may draw a card and you lose 1 life. If 7 or more creatures died this turn instead, you draw 7 cards and you lose 7 life. Pretty good. Pretty good card draw in the set. It came with the precon. It's dealing with Nurgle. It's not really demon. It's like demon adjacent. So I like it. Rakdos, Patron of Chaos. X-rays. There we go. It's a 4, 5, 6 mana flying trample. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land, non-token permanents. If they don't, draw 2 cards. So, card draw because nobody wants to give up the permanent, so it's normally just draw 2 cards, get ahead of the game. Nice. Lord of Change, another Warhammer card, is a 7 mana demon with flying and ward. When this creature enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. So, really overcosted draw spell, but it's a demon, it's a big body. Well, it's a 6/6. It's fine. It fits this theme, it fits the strategy. We're gonna run with it. Demonic Console is a 2 mana sorcery spell, and it has search your life for a demon card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. So tutor. And then it has Delirium. If there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, instead search your life for any card and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Normally we're not trying to do the Delirium thing. We're just trying to search for a demon, put it into our hand, and then call it a day. So good card. I like it. Brainstorm. Super old, super common card. Brainstorm is a 1-drop instant, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. So a lot of people don't like this card. I'm on the fence. I think it's fine. It's good card draw, old school card draw. So I do not mind. Blood for the Blood God is 8, 9, 10, 11 mana for this instant, but it does have a text at the bottom. This spell costs 1 less for each creature card that died this turn. Discard your hand, then draw 8 cards. Blood for the Blood God deals 8 damage to each opponent. Exile this card. So obviously, you follow this up with the board wipe. So Blasphemous Act. This is the ideal turn. You Blasphemous Act, and then you play Blood for the Blood God for 3 mana. And then not only are you destroying everything on the field, you're also going to draw. You're going to deal 8 damage, and then draw 8 cards. So great combo card with Blasphemous Act if you can pull it off. It's definitely more of like a magical Christmas land kind of scenario, but worth having in the deck. Our next one is Black Market Connection. Dun, 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 dun. This one's from the Assassin's Creed set, so it's a 3 mana enchantment. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, choose 1 or more. I can't read the little, what are they? Sell contraband. There you go. Took me a second to see it. Create a treasure token, buy information, draw a card, you lose 2 life. Hire a mercenary, create a 3/2 color shapeshifter token with a changeling, you lose 3 life. So, again, this is just a good card in general. My goodness. I love this card a lot. It's very hard to not pick all 3 modes immediately. But at the very least, each mode is significant for you. Obviously, you want to draw cards. Everyone wants to draw cards. Creating a treasure token is fine. You always have like extra mana laying around. Obviously, the last effect is just letting you make demons for free, essentially. Well, for 3 life. For 3 life, you get to make demons on your pre-combat main phase, which is great for Be'lakor, because he wants to see demons enter the battlefield and everything. Aspiring Champion is a 4 mana creature, Astartes warrior. There he is. Look at that little heathen. It has Ruinous Ascension. When Aspiring Champion deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your deck. To reveal a creature card, put that card onto the battlefield. Then shuffle the rest into your library. If that creature is a demon, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So, yep. This is just another good demon card that was in the Warhammer set. Great to have. And our next one, really now we're actually looking at the bulk of the deck now. Make sure I only grab the appropriate cards. Yep, there we go. So here's the strategy. This is the main game plan right here. It's about 24 cards, I believe. Yeah. 24 of what I consider to be the strongest cards for the deck within the restrictions I have it for. And Archfiend of Depravity is our first one that we're going to look at. And it's going to be kind of hard to hold that big stack up, so we're just going to put it down there. It is a 5 mana flying creature, flying demon. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures he or she controls, then sacrifice the rest. So, non-negotiable, you're losing stuff. Love it. It used to be in the board wipe section until I added other stuff. And then Valor is a 5-mana demon, flying. When this attacks or dies, choose one or more. Each mode must target a different player. There you go. So you can choose all 3, or you can just choose one. It has target opponent draws 3 cards, then discards 3 cards at random. Yeah. Target opponent sacrifices an online artifact. Very good. This deals damage to target opponent equal to the number of cards in their hand. So last 2 effects are pretty good. Top one is, can you choose yourself for the top one? Whenever, yeah, you can choose yourself. So you can, oh no, it says target opponent. So only an opponent can do this. Draw 3, then discard 3 at random. So, well, I don't know. The top effect is probably okay, but the bottom 2 are really what I'm doing the most of. And obviously it's a big demon. Our next one, Blood Crusader of Karn, is a 4-mana demon knight. It has trample, and then other creatures you control have trample. So good card, gives your stuff trample. Also within the Warhammer set, so it stays in the deck. And then we have, I think this is Bloodthirster. Yep, 6-mana demon, flying trample, and then move my finger out of the way because I've looked away from Architect. So whenever this deals combat damage to a player, untap it. After this combat phase, there's an additional combat phase. Bloodthirster can attack a player if a player it had already attacked this turn. So obviously you can get like, what is it, 4 upkeeps, 4 battle phases. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, untap it. After this combat phase, there's an addition. Yeah. So you get like 4 combat phases. You got yours, and then for each other opponent you have. So this gets wild. This card gets completely unhinged. So it's great to have. I love Bloodthirster Demon. I'm glad it's a demon, and it fits this theme very well. Chaos Defiler. Chaos Defiler. There you go. I don't think this was in the original deck. I had it, but I didn't run it in the deck. It's a 5-mana demon construct, trample. It has battle cannon. When this enters the battlefield or dies, for each opponent, choose a non-land permanent that player controls. Destroy one of them at random. So pretty good. So you just pick, one thing from each of your opponents, and then at random you just throw a dice. One of them gets destroyed. So always removal. Good removal. So whenever it enters and dies, it will do that. What is this? Chaos Terminator Lord. This guy's cool. I guess the implication that he's a Terminator is also wicked. He also looks sick. My goodness. What a beast. That looks like, I feel like, is he one of the Praetors, one of the sons? Hard to tell. I don't know a lot about the Warhammer lore stuff. So my only exposure has been through Magic with that, and like I've watched some of the lore videos, but it goes in one ear out the other, so can't do much about that. But anyways, Chaos Terminator Lord is a 4-mana Astartes warrior. It has Lord of Chaos. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains double strike until the end of turn. So this is just giving stuff double. Was it double attack? Double strike. Sorry, my One Piece stuff is bleeding over to my Magic stuff. So our next one is gonna be a double face card, so we're gonna have to flip it in a minute. Elbrus the Binding Blade is a 7-mana artifact. My goodness. With equipment, legendary. Equipped creature gets a 1/0. Horrible. When equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, untap this, then transform it for this thing. The only reason why we play this, it doesn't really do much for us, because the thing that sucks about this card is that when it transforms, it's transforming on the field. It's not entering the battlefield, so it never procs this, which is unfortunate, but it's such a cool demon. It's a big monster demon. What is that? Withergarden Unbound is a legendary demon. Flying, intimidate, trample. Whenever a player loses the game, put 13 1/1 counters on this. So, and it's a 13/13. This thing is monstrous. I always try to go for this. It doesn't usually happen. Usually this, this will stay equipped to something until some kind of combat damage is done. And then, oh, it's so good. It's so good to get a 13 out there. It's one of those dream cards that you're like, I'm gonna put it in the deck. Hopefully it does something. What is this? Flame Shadow Conjuring. Flame Shadow Conjuring, one of the newer cards I added to the deck more recently. It's a 4-mana enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay red. If you do, put a token on the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. That token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of your next end step. So super cool. Doubles your ETBs, which means, you know, Belcor hits your opponent twice, or, you know, the creatures hit your opponents twice. So good card, especially once you start paying 1, you start doubling your ETBs. It's awesome. Great stuff. The Great Unclean One. Here is Nurgle himself. I believe this is Nurgle, right? This looks like Nurgle. I don't think Nurgle would be on the battlefield. And oh, there we go. Yeah. I think it's supposed to be Nurgle, but I don't think Nurgle would actually ever be seen in person. I believe he'd just be in his own realm or in his own little area of hell, just, you know, chilling. But the Great Unclean One is a 5-mana demon. It has River, what is that? River Bearing Summon? River Bearing Summons. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses 2 life. Then, for each opponent who has lost life, has less life than you, create a 1/3 black demon creature token named Plague Beater of Nurgle. There you go. Pretty good. And then, hang on. This thing is definitely gonna die on me. A little preemptively switch. Completely died on me. So we're gonna take a second. How's your week been? Hopefully you've had a good one. Don't mind me just doing a reach around for my outlet, wherever it may be. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare. As long as I don't expose myself in a non-sexual way. I gotta clarify. Where's the stupid plug? There we go. And then have to change out the audio source, whatever it may still be on. There we go. Is audio hearable? Not yet. Properties. Ta-da! I fixed it. God, I hate that. That's why one reason why I hate Bluetooth headphones. It's always a pain in my ass to switch audio things. Like, it's nice to not have cables laying around everywhere. It just sucks whenever your thing, the batteries of your things die, and then you have to go and like hot swap things out of place. So, annoying. And of course, now my headphones are just going to be popping in and out of my ears now. So that's just what they do. How's the audio? Sounds like it's fine. All right, so Sugu, I believe. Devouring Chaos is a 4-mana demon, orc demon, ogre. Pay 1 black, sacrifice a creature, scry 2. Fine. Then it has pay 3 mana, tap this, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you exile a non-land card this way, this deals damage equal to the exile card's mana value to any target. Great effect. Really good backup effect to like Belcor. So I could definitely see this deck existing before Belcor did, but obviously Belcor kind of takes the whole strategy and just puts it on a whole nother level. It's great. And then Inquisitor Eisenhorn. It's an Inquisitor, so one of our Inquisitor buzzies who have managed to enslave a demon somehow. I don't know how. It's a 4-mana legendary human Inquisitor. You may reveal the top. Okay, let me try that again. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. Whenever you reveal an instance or sorcery card this way, create a Cherubel Shareable, a legendary 4/4 black demon creature, token with flying. So whenever an Inquisitor deals combat damage to a player, investigate that many times. Interesting. So yeah, whenever this deals combat damage to a player, investigate that many times. Create a clue token. Yep. And the clue token is just, you pay to sacrifice a draw card. So good card. Realistically, I only have it in here because it makes a demon, which is that demon in the background. Keeper of Secrets. Our next one. Big mana spell. It is a 6 mana demon with first strike and haste. Symphony of Pain. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, Keeper of Secrets deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to target opponent. Good card. I don't think I get a ton of use out of this. There's a handful of cards, like Jessica's Will, that lets you cast spells from exile. Like you exile the top 3 and then you can cast those. This will work with it, but this is a very like use case scenario. It's a very niche scenario. It's just a Warhammer demon that works in the deck. This is Kinder Charge. Kinder Charge is a 4, 5, 6 mana sorcery. Choose a creature type, choosing demon. For each creature you control of the chosen type, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of your next end step. So pretty good. Pretty good once you start like flooding the board, which, surprise, you never really flood the board. I would be shocked if you can get a demon deck to flood the board. That is quite the feat in itself. I've never been able to get more than like 3 or 4 demons out at most, including my Belcore. Maybe outside of tokens, maybe. But yeah, Kinder Charge, just a good, mass copy spell. So I do like it. And then here's one of our just pet cards. This is just a pet card. It doesn't really synergize with the deck or do anything for the deck. It's just, I really like the card. I like the art. And it is Nicobolus the Ravager. Took me a second. It's a Grixis 1 mana, so it's 4 mana, legendary creature, Elder Dragon, flying. When this enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. That's fine. You can pay 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Exile this, and then return him to the battlefield transferred under his owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery. And I will show you what he looks like normally. Oh, he is a Planeswalker. Dun dun dun. Who would have expected this cute little baby? He's such an asshole. Nicobolus the Arisen is a Planeswalker. Grixis, draw 2 cards. Then this deals 10 damage to target creature or Planeswalker. Next one is put target creature or Planeswalker card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Could be relevant. And then the final one, the ultimate, is exile all but the bottom card of target player's library. That is Magical Christmas Land, if you manage to do a -12 for his loyalty. Considering he starts at 7, not impossible because you draw 2 cards, but this guy becomes target number 1 if you flip him. But you gotta admit, like, the art alone is convincing enough. I really love the art. That looks wicked. This dude looks absolutely wicked. But alas, the art looks wicked, but I love this version of Nicobolus and Ugin. These 2 little turds are so cute. I can't get enough of these guys. They look so good in foil as well. I really do just love running this. This little dude's so cute. It like bothers me how cute he is. It's like, it's so good. I love this card. It's such a good card. This will always be like in the deck. I don't think this will ever get replaced. So keep that in mind. I mean, it would suck if I have to sell it, but ideally I'm going to keep it. But our next one is Nurgle Rot. It's an enchantment aura. It's a 1-drop. It has enchant creature and opponent controls. When enchanted creature dies, return Nurgle Rot to its owner's hand, and then you create a 1/3 black demon creature token named Plague Bearer of Nurgle. So, give me a moment. Sorry. Like last time, a lot of talking. A whole lot of talking when you're doing a deck tech for a commander deck, which again I talked about last year, but it still like baffles me how quick some of these people can do with these deck techs. You see like 10-minute videos about deck techs, and somehow they go through every single card and they do it in under 10 minutes. I don't know. And they're talking like at a normal pace. They're not talking very fast. But it definitely blows my mind, the fact that people can just burn through these decks so quickly. Like, I'm struggling to keep my voice here. But our next card is Pink Horror, 5 mana, demon creature, demon horror. What's that word? Corrosive casting flames? Corrosive casting flames? Is that the word? Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, Pink Horror deals 2 damage to any target, and then split. Whenever Pink Horror dies, create 2/2/2 and... Okay, so create 2/2 blue and red demon horror creature tokens named Blue Horror with whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, this creature deals 1 damage to any target. So it just gets a little out of hand. It like multiplies itself. Pretty good, but we don't run a ton of instants and sorceries in this deck. So it is really just here for the demon typing and the occasional multiplication of himself. Next card, Rakdos, Lord of Riots, is a 4-mana demon. Very specific tips. So you can't cast this spell unless an opponent lost life this turn. So you're trying to speedrun your opponent losing life, which is great. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponent has lost this turn. Oh, so good. 4 mana, 6/6. That encourages you to hit your opponent. Because not only are you hitting your opponent for the ability to cast this, but then you're reducing everything by 1 generic for, you know, however much your opponent has lost this turn. Good card. I doubt it's ever going to get removed from the deck unless, you know, there's a secret layer version of this that comes out that looks good. Gotta keep that in mind. Reflections of Linjara. That's a tough word. So it's a 5 mana enchantment, if we can ever get to see it. There you go. As this enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. Good old generic, just copying ability. Great for Be'lakor, great for any demon that just enters the battlefield. Does a ton of damage. Another clone effect is Rite of Replication, a 4-mana spell that has kicker 5, which this one you have to pay an additional cost. So you have to pay the spell and then you pay the kicker cost. Create tokens that's a copy of target creature. If the spell was kicked, create 5 of those tokens instead. So obviously this combos amazingly with your Be'lakor because you pay the kicker, you target Be'lakor, all the Be'lakors see each other and just do a massive circle jerk and do like 180 damage across the table. It's great. Great stuff. Saw in half. Another actually I need to replace this. I have the Deadpool one, so I need to replace the Deadpool one with this one. But we'll do that later. Yeah, you'll see it next year. I feel bad, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. So Saw in Half is a 3-mana instance. Destroy target creature. If that creature dies this way, its controller creates 2 tokens that's a copy of that creature, except their base power is half of the creature's power and their base toughness is half of the creature's toughness, rounded up each time. So great. It's another copy spell. Not removal. I doubt. You never want to use this to remove a creature because you're asking for trouble. So you normally target your own stuff and then you just make copies of it. So another good spell. Sword of Hearth and Home. This one's really cool. It's a 3-mana artifact enchant or equipment. Equipped creature gets a 2/2 and has protection from green and from white, so pretty good for us since we're not running those colors. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, exile up to 1 of the target creatures you own, then search your library for a basic land card. Put both cards onto the battlefield under your control, then shuffle. So it's a blink effect. It's a ramp spell, so it does 2 things that we want. Because if we blink a demon, Be'lakor sees it, and then we're slowly ramping to our bigger spells. Here's the other Valgavoth. It is the Terra Eater. 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Wow. That's a big boy. My goodness. Didn't realize it was 9 mana. So I'm telling you, there's some big spells in this stupid thing. It's an Elder Demon as well. There's the picture. Flying Lifelink Ward. Sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. If a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. During your turn, you may play this card, exiled with Valgavoth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to the mana value rather than pay its mana cost. So, this reminds me of It That Betrays, I believe, is an Eldrazi spell that has a similar text to this, where you can cast things from your opponent's graves, or you can cast things from the graveyard. But this one is specifically, nothing hits the graveyard, which is good. It's good against graveyard decks. And then obviously you can pay life to play anything that this has managed to eat in. So good, really good demon, but my god, nine mana. You're getting your money's worth, at least for 9 mana. And then, of course, the all-star, the backup to our commander is Warstorm Surge. A 6 mana enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. This is basically a pseudo copy of our commander, but for far less. Well, no, actually for the same mana. Weirdly enough, same mana. I didn't realize that. But yeah, obviously enchantments are a little harder to remove, so it's going to stick around a little better than your commander will. And it's for any creature type. It's not like, oh, this specifically has to be demons. No, it's any creature. And then Whip of Erebos. Also, I think a relatively new addition. It's a 4 mana legendary enchantment artifact. Creatures you control have lifelink. Pretty important. 4 mana, tap this. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of your next end phase. If it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. That's a lot of words, but this is primarily a lifelinker, because this is going to do a lot of damage, because it's, as you're drawing cards from your demons, you're taking damage from your demons. Your demons are pinging your opponent, so you get to heal off of this as well. And then, like, if you need one of your big demons, like for instance, if you need your Valgavoth back for a turn, you can cast it for the 4 mana. But obviously then you're committing to exiling your Valgavoth. So I think this is a pretty fair card for all things considered. It does everything relatively fair. It kind of keeps itself in check, so I'm not too upset by it. Final round. We're looking at lands. And the lands, I think they did get a buff, but we'll see as we go through it. So Westvale Abbey is a colorless land that taps 5, tap this, pay 1 life, create a 1/1 white and black human cleric creature token, pay 5, tap this, sacrifice 5 creatures, transform this, and untap it into probably the best art of the entire Secret Lair. Ormenthal, I believe is his name. Ormenthal, Profane Priest, Prince, Legendary Demon, Flying, Lifelink, Indestructible, Haste, 9/7. So good. I want this to be my commander. Let me have it. Look at this. Look at this bad boy. Gorgeous. This is also, where is it? There it is. If you didn't know, or if you forgot, it's actually the same art that is on the life counter. Very cool. Love this card. My god. How I wish I could just use this as a commander instead. It'd be weird. Actually, would it be weird? Having a land as your commander? Wouldn't be weird. It would be your turn 1 thing though, for sure. But then like people would use like Field of the Dead as their commander. I don't know. We'll see. Interesting idea, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Otawara, Soaring Skies. One of the channel lands, one of the few channel lands, legendary land, tap for green, or tap for blue, channel 3 and a blue, discard this, return target artifact, creature, or enchantment, or planeswalker to its owner's hand. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. As you can tell, I had a lot of legendary demons, so 4 mana is not even that bad to pay when you're talking about just bouncing something back to your opponent's hand. It bounces most significant targets, nothing bad, and just good land in general. Xander's Lounge, it's our tri-land, taps for Grixis, and then enters the battlefield tap. It cycles for 3. Crumbling Necropolis is a tap land that also taps for Grixis. Mutavolt, colorless land that if you pay 1, it becomes a 2/2 of a creature type. It becomes a 2/2 creature with all creature types until the end of turn. It's still land. So this becomes a 2/2 demon if you pay 1 into it. Bojuka Bog, good old veggies. It enters the battlefield tap. When this enters the battlefield, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. Tap it for black. Sanctum of Eternity. It taps for colorless. Pay 2, tap this. Return target commander you own from the battlefield to your hand. Activate this ability only during your turn. Good protection for your commander. Oy. My goodness. Seething Isles, or no, Seething Landscape is a colorless land. Tap this, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic island, swamp, or mountain card. Put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Cycling Grixis. This, honestly, I am surprised that this is not as expensive as it is. It's a common though, so makes sense. But this is just a good card. You should run it. If you have a 3-color deck, find your colors and run one of these lands. They're good. Exotic Orchard is a tap, add 1 mana of any color that a land opponent controls could produce. Like, okay. Sunken Hollows. Tap for Dimir. This enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Command Tower, classic. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Temple of Epiphany? Temple of Epiphany. It enters then tapped. Scries for 1. Taps for, is it? Fabled Passage. Well, there we go. Sacrifice this, tap it, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Then, if you control 4 or more lands, untap that land. Good. Most of the time, it's either going to be a tap land or an untapped land. Not bad, always worth running, especially in a landfall deck. Terramorphic Expanse is a land, tap, sacrifice this, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Pretty old school, generic color fixing. Unclaimed Territory. As this enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. We're choosing demons. Tap for 1 colorless. Or you can tap it, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type. We're choosing demons. War Room. I would have loved this to also be a Warhammer card. This would have been a great orc card. But it taps for colorless. Pay 3, tap this. Pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander's color identity. For us, it's 3. Draw a card. So pay 3 life, draw a card. And then 3 mana, tap it, pay 3 life, draw a card. So it's fine. Command Beacon. Tap for colorless. Sacrifice this. Put your commander into your hand from the command zone. Pretty good. Give me a minute. You good, buddy? Up. Everything looks like it's still going. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. Everything is kosher on my end. Here's a new card. This one I know is a new card, because I just recently got this. Arena of Glory. Good card. I was told about not too long ago. Arena of Glory enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain. So probably tap most of the time. Add 1 red. Red, tap this. Exert Arena of Glory. So this is the first land we've seen. I think this is the first land we've seen with an exert ability. I'm pretty sure there's a cycle, but this is the first time I think we're seeing the cycle. Add 2 red. If the mana is spent on a creature spell, it gains haste until the end of turn. And then an exerted permanent won't untap during its next untap step. So obviously, we exert this, we're refunded our mana, and then whatever creature we cast next using this mana will gain haste, which is great. It's another haste enabler if we want to swing in fast. Really good aggressive card. Secluded Courtyard is our next one. Enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Demons, tap for colorless. or we can tap it, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast creature spells of the chosen type, or activate an ability of a creature or creature card of the chosen type. So pretty good. Just another, you know, color fixing thing for demons specifically. Path of Ancestry, classic, common card. Enters the battlefield tapped, add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. When this mana is spent on to cast a creature spell of the that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. So it's a rainbow land that can occasionally let you scry stuff for a tribal deck. Tomb Fortress. Tomb Fortress enters the battlefield tapped, taps for 1 black, or you can pay 5 mana, tap this, exile this, mill 4 cards, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Good. I like it. It's nice to have at least 1 copy of that card, because I believe there's 2 cards that have the same effect, but that one between the 2 is the better one because it's a Warhammer card. Temple of the False God. Dun dun dun. Actually, who is the False God? Can we tell? I can't tell who that is, because it's definitely not the God Emperor, that's for sure. Looks good though. Temple of the False God is a land. Tap, add 2. Activate only if you control 5 or more lands. Kind of a trap land, but you know, it's fine. It's in the Warhammer set, it's fine. Evolving Wilds. Sacrifice this, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Color fixing. Slow color fixing, but it is color fixing. Speaking of slow color fixing, Myriad Landscape. It enters the battlefield tapped, taps for 1 colorless. Pay 2, tap this, sacrifice this, search your library for 2 basic land cards that share a land type, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So, it's fine. What is this? Choked Estuary? Estuary? Not sure what that word means. Estuary. It looks like a plains, sort of. Well, it doesn't look like much. It's like a swamp, honestly. Some like city waste. So as this enters the battlefield, you may reveal an island or swamp card from your hand. If you don't, this enters the battlefield tapped, and then it taps for Dimir. Foreboding Runes, the next one, Rakdos. As this enters the battlefield, you may reveal a swamp or mountain card from your hand. If you don't, this enters the battlefield tapped, and then it taps for Rakdos. And then our next little section is going to be our MDFCs. So our first one is Valgavoth Stoneforge. Valakot Stoneforge. Land enters in tapped. Taps for 1 red. However, we want this side. Normally, Valgavoth Awakening. It's a 3 mana instance. It serves. Put any number of cards from your hand onto the bottom of your library, then draw that many +1. So it's a wheel that puts you up 1 card, so pretty good. Normally we play it as a land, but you know, whenever we can cast it. Next one, Dural Ruins. Enters in tap, taps for a blue. This is more of like a, I don't think a lot of people would play this, to be honest with you. And then Juari Disruption, the 2 mana instance. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. You would be shocked how many times you can catch your opponent, you know, slacking on mana whenever it comes to countering one of their spells. So occasionally you can catch your opponent off guard with this. However, if you're up against a blue player, don't be surprised. I would just play this as a land if you're up against a blue player, because they tend to always have mana open. Feldmire is our next one. This is one of the newer ones, actually. This actually has an effect. So as this enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped, and then it taps for black. So that's what makes these newer ones, these new MDFCs, pretty good, is that you can actually decide if you want them to be untapped lands or tap lands. They're going to shock you for 3. And then Fel of the Profane. Fel of the Profane is a 4 mana instant spell. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Overpriced removal, but the fact that it's a land is what makes it so good. And occasionally an untapped land, which is what makes it even better. What is this? So for its thick, Springs. Sorferific Springs. There's the word, there's the name. As this enters, you can pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. Taps for a blue. And then the actual spell that we care about is an instance. Sink into Stupor. Sink into Stupor is a return target spell or non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. So good, really good removal. It targets a spell, so it's a potential counter spell, but it is also a removal on the field if you want to get rid of something big on your opponent's field. Force them to cast it again. Great to have. And then we have our basics. We have 3 islands, 3 mountains, and then 3 swamps. The reason why we're running such a high basic land count is, well, 1, we have the bad fetches. We have bad fetch lands, and then 2, this also keeps the number of Warhammer cards pretty high, because we're adding 9 extra Warhammer cards to the list of cards in the deck. So that's why I choose to run this many basics. But yeah, there's the deck. That is everything. That is the whole deck as of today, which is what, April 21st, right after Easter. So happy Easter. A little late to be celebrating Easter, but you know, we do nonetheless. Hopefully you did some fun stuff for Easter. But yeah, that is the deck. That is the demon deck. It has survived another year with me. How many times? I haven't played the deck that often. Again, usually I'm trying to think, what decks do I normally play? The next 2 I play the most. This deck and my Eldrazi deck are the 2 that don't get played a ton, because they're both tribal decks. So, you know, tribal decks, it's, you know what you're doing. And plus, I've also switched a lot of my playtime over to One Piece. So I don't have a ton of time to play Commander on top of playing One Piece. So I tend to just play One Piece over Commander. It's a quicker, funner format for me, or card game in this case. But I still love Commander. Obviously, I still love it, because even after a year of retiring from EDH and from Magic, I still have these decks put together, and I'm still, you know, keeping up to date. They're probably not the most optimal builds that you're gonna see, but these are my decks, and I do like them a lot. I think they've come a long way. They've been around for a pretty long time, and just through the years of like building and deconstructing decks, the 4 decks that have remained have been the strongest ones that I've been able to procure, or I've been able to just to hold on to and keep moving forward with. But yeah, there you go. That is everything. I'm just making sure now that the deck is nicely shuffled and thoroughly mixed up, so I don't like draw nothing but bricks next game whenever I do pull this back out, because I guarantee you, next time I pull this out, I'm gonna definitely forget what was in here, and then I'm gonna cry because I'm gonna draw like 7 board wipes and feel bad. Even though I don't have 7 board wipes, knowing my luck, I will draw all 7 board wipes that don't exist. I'll draw, what is it, like an extra 4 cards that are not even in the list, and just brick completely and cry. But yeah, there you go. I think Wednesday is our next stream, and that's gonna be One Piece, I believe. I don't know what we're gonna do. We might do some like catching up news. We might do some like One Piece TCG news at the start of that. Talk about some like concepts and ideas for deck building, and then maybe we'll do like a deck tech or something. I'm not sure yet. Because I want to stream. So for some future One Piece things, I want to do the streams as normal, but I want to add segments that can be cut up from the VOD and be uploaded separately as either shorts or as standalone videos, hopefully. Because just recently, if you didn't know, recently I wrote out a script for a video about One Piece, and as I was trying to do the voiceover, my god, it was bad. It was really bad. I'm terrible with reading lines. Even if I wrote them, I'm still bad at it. So I don't think that's for my type of content creation, I don't think that's the right way to go. I don't think script writing is how I'm going to do content creating, because I'm just I'm really bad at reading my own stuff. Reading and writing, it's all pretty tough for me, especially when it just comes to making a video. I want to just make a video, have it edit, and then just have it pushed out. And it can be tough. It can be difficult when you're not that great at doing either. So we're gonna try doing that. We're gonna try to do like the MBT thing, where we're streaming, but at the same time we're also making, you know, snippets for videos. And we'll see how that turns out. But anyways, that was everything. That was the whole deck. You've seen it all. Hopefully you liked it. It's been a year, so I'll see you guys next year. I'll be back next year to feed my commander players and show you where the decks are in the future. Hopefully in the future they're still put together and potentially stronger, but you know, there's no guarantee that they'll be stronger next year. They might end up, if nothing changes in the Magic, you know, rotation, they will probably stay like, you know, where they are right now for a while. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and love you and leave you here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you spending time with me, whether it was, you know, live or through the VODs. Always appreciate it. You know, leave a like, leave a comment if you saw or, you know, can think of anything new. I mean, new for the deck. I mean, I'm not taking suggestions for additions to the deck, but let me know what you thought about the deck, if you liked it or not. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and love you and leave you. And until next time, goodbye. Bye 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 bye.